Welcome back to another episode of What Ifs and Maybes, a podcast about the what ifs of our lives and the maybes of our hearts. These are your hosts. I'm Mads
I'm Pao.
and welcome to another prompt. So Pau, how are you today?
I'm feeling good. How about you?
I'm feeling great. It's a bit hot, but we're doing it all to survive.
It is really, really hot today.
Oh, that's good that you're feeling good, Pau. For today's prompt, do you have any idea what today's prompt is?
I have no idea. I'm nervous right now. I don't know what to say or what should I expect for the next prompt.
Don't worry, pal, because this week's prompt is going deep, as in like Egyptian river deep.
Ooh.
Like, don't be in the.
Like the ocean deep.
That's a really
Rolling
good
in the sea.
one. But thank you for not cringing on that one. Nina is cringing. Hi, Nina. Welcome to another episode with us. She's cringing so bad. But here's the prompt anyway. What if, Pao? What if you can risk it all? Dun 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 dun. I think we have to expand on this one. What if you can risk it all? In what aspect? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Question is actually hard for me because I'm not a risk taker
You're not.
at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not. So if I can risk all, what would I risk? I wouldn't really risk it all. If I had to choose, can you like give me an
But
example
but
of
what if you can? Because you're saying that you don't risk it all because you have doubts on if you have a stable backup plan, right? But what if you can risk everything and just do whatever you want? What is the first thing that you'll do? Like at this moment or tomorrow when you wake up, you can risk everything and what's the first thing that comes into your life?
if I can risk all, I would like love travel. I would like to explore the jungle, but I don't think my body can explore the jungle. But I would love to.
Mm-hmm.
I
Why?
can risk it all. Risk it all.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to the jungle
Why
or
the
like
jungle?
skydive
You
or
might die in a week,
I don't
according to
know.
Nina.
I think I'll die in a day, Nina.
So why? Why would you risk everything?
Not just the jungle, but everywhere. Actually, the first place I would love to go to
Mm-hmm.
is every region in the Philippines. I would
Oh.
love to go Tawi-Tawi, to Sulu,
Mm.
and risk it all because my parents are scared to go to those, not really to only those places, but by myself. That's what I'll risk. Like as a girl,
Yeah.
it's hard to go to other places. That's why maybe
Mm.
I'll risk going.
I mean, on your own, especially, it's really
Yeah.
hard to go somewhere. Especially, there's really a risk going outside on your own. So I get what you mean.
Yeah. Especially as a girl.
Yeah, especially as a girl, there's a lot of security concerns that I know a lot of women like would relate to. Even just walking at night seems to be such a dangerous
Yeah.
thing as a girl.
You know, there was a quote or like a saying that I saw
Mm-hmm.
that it's better to be annoyed rather to be afraid. I resonated with that, like just walking down the street at night
Mm-hmm.
because you know it's a risk. Every girl, every well, not just girl, everyone takes at night.
Yeah, I get
It's
that. I
scary.
get that. You're
How
right.
about you, man? What would you do
Oh, if I
if
could
you can
risk it
risk it
all?
all?
Well,
Yeah.
as the practical side of me would really think that can I really risk it all if I don't have the financial capability to risk it all? Or am I or does this question mean that I'm very financially secure? Like I suddenly have like $1 million and then I can spend it all I want and I can risk leaving everything behind. Is that
Yeah,
the
something like
scenario?
that.
Oh wow,
That's
that's
what
a
I had in mind. Like, what if I had everything, all the means to just go away and risk it all?
oh that's a very lucky scenario. I hope that really happens.
You'll never know the lottery. You
Yeah,
might.
you're right. So if I risk it all, if I could, I think I'd do the same thing. I think I would just get a year and go to places I want. Go to places like Jeju Island in Korea. That's very calming. And then
Yeah.
we go to Berlin or Belgium and just feel the snow. I can even imagine it. You have the snow outside, and you have a cup of warm chocolate milk, and then you have like some chocolates with you, and you just have a good day knowing that tomorrow you don't have to go to your job.
That sounds so nice.
It's such a nice thought, but I also want to, in that year, I just want to go someplace I haven't been to. Struggle living in a train, probably. I do it only once in my life, though, because I'm the kind of person who can't sleep outside the comforts of my own home. But I feel like it's a risk for me to do that because I'd only be thinking about myself for me.
Yeah.
Because I won't need to think if my friends would need me. I'm not saying that as an offense to all of my friends or that my family would really allow me to do so because I do think that my family, like Pao, is very protective, I guess, or very, they're not possessive at some point. Like, they're not very toxic. They're just really protective and nurturing. So I do think if I could risk it all, I would just enjoy life and what it offers.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, what if you can only risk what you have now? What would you risk?
Oh my goodness. That's a heavy question.
It is.
So like all? So you mean like everything in my life? What would I risk?
Maybe like that. Yeah, just what you have now. Not something like if you won the lottery or anything. Would you risk like maybe love or maybe money or
Oh,
friends?
well,
Or
romantic.
would you risk
Mm-mm.
them?
For me, actually, like financial, like money is something that you do need, but it's not something that you would need forever, or would be a criteria for you to be really happy. You just needed to survive. I can risk money for me because money, like it would just come and go. My mom would always ask me why there would be times where I'd be so frugal, and there'd be times I'd be so. Let's just give them the emoji of the flying cash, the green cash. Okay, but I can risk money for me. I think that's something that just comes and go. I can risk romantic love because for me that's not real if you can risk it and it would leave. But I don't think I can ever risk true friends or family. I don't think I can risk those kinds of things.
Am I included in those?
So what about you, Pao?
Wow!
Because I don't think like they're the kinds of people I surround myself with. They're the reason why I am who I am and why I do the choices I do. So if I risk that, like, I'm risking myself in the process. But what about you?
Maybe if I had to choose between,
Mm-hmm.
I think I said this in the last episode. I'm not sure, but if I had to choose between
Money or
friends, I
mm-hmm.
would choose my friends. I would risk a lot for them, for everything
Mm-hmm.
that I love and would want to
Mm-hmm.
spend my life with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know.
I think that's something similar that we both have, right? That we're very family oriented, which I think used to be a common thing in the Philippines, but not so common nowadays to be so family oriented like how we are.
Yeah.
But
So
I think that's a privilege, which I think that we have. We grew up with family, or that really nurtured us. I think that's a privilege. Do you call that a privilege now?
since like everything, I think it is. Not everyone has that,
Mm-hmm.
and we're thankful for our family and friends who have been with us, support us, and maybe friends, maybe will keep on supporting us in our podcast journey.
You're right. You're right. Wow, this is a really like heavy question, right, Pao? Like risking
Yeah,
something, but what can you risk?
as someone who's not a risk taker at all,
Mm-mm.
that's a hard question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm always in my comfort zone. Even when like going to a party with other people,
What
to
are
be
you
embarrassed.
risking though? Oh, risking the embarrassment.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is
I
that
just
something
don't
that
like.
you would want to change, or is that something that for you is
No, I don't think
comfortable?
I would do that.
Oh, so Nina is asking, are you risking dignity for experience? Wow, Nina's really pulling the guns for here. Are you risking
Yeah,
your
those
dignity?
questions are so hard for experience.
So is it
Well,
ego? Oh, that's a really hard question.
oh, how about you, Matt? What would you do? Would you risk your dignity for an experience? Or
Okay,
like,
I'll answer first, Pao. Would I risk my dignity? I have done that a lot of times. So it's a yes for me. I have risked dignity over other things. It has made me cry. It made me cry. Sorry, grammar. It did make me cry a lot when I was younger because
Mhm.
I got really influenced by animes. Like if you know Naruto, they always have this sort of like tagline that you have to do your best, you have to do this, you have to do that. So my mindset growing up was like a protagonist in an anime show. It's not Weeb Life, Nina. Just even movies, I get so influenced. I'm like a sponge. That if you give me a movie with good like morals or lessons, I'd really try to put that into living. So of course I risk my dignity. And I have been embarrassed lots of times regarding those things. Do I regret it? Yes. Yes, I do. But was it necessary for me to be shaped and to be molded?
Mm-mm.
It's a yes as well. But what about you, Pao? Hearing that, did that change your views or?
I had never really
Mm-hmm.
risked that, but would I, in my age, like when would I go to an audition
Mm-hmm.
for a role?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe right now, since we're growing older
Mm-hmm.
and feeling things, I think I'm mentally and emotionally stable
Mm-hmm.
before when I was like so shy. Everything I do, I'd be embarrassed, even though it wasn't embarrassing. So, but as I grew older, I just had a I don't care attitude. So maybe I think I would risk it.
You would risk it. But if you
Yeah.
could go back in time, would there be a moment that you would risk with your current mentality?
I would
Oh,
risk.
so there's no moment like in the past that you'd risk.
Yeah, I don't think I had any experience that I regret not taking the risk.
We have a new entry from Nina, and she said, "Would you risk your dreams for stability at this age, Nina? At this age? Oh my goodness,
I was gonna say at our age we're still young. I think we can.
really? That's your?
Yeah.
Uh, we're like in our early 20s, guys. We're not yet
Yeah.
25, so Paul's right. We're kind of young." But at the same time, I agree with Nina. We old. What you talking about, son? Joke. We're kind of, for me, if I was younger, especially it's kind of intimidating the current Gen Z generation. I think this is a controversial kind of debate, but I kind of get intimidated with how talented they are and how many side hustles they can do at their age. So like if I compete with my schedule, especially with the time that I have, with the limited time I have compared to the time that they have, I think it's more of a loss on my part. So would I
Mm.
risk it? I think I'd have to like stay out more or just sleep less just to risk it all. But I would. I won't do it immediately out of the blue, like drop everything.
Yeah, I understand that. The thing is,
It's
I think when you're younger and you drift, I just think that we're in our 20s, so when it's younger, it's like teenage years.
yeah, teenage years. I
I
feel like I'd risk it more if I was sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't when
Mm-hmm.
I'm young because I know that I'm not mentally and emotionally.
I get that. Emotionally mature, is that it? Is that the word you're looking for?
Yeah, I don't think I can handle the criticism from other people
At that age, like
when at that age. But right now, like I said previously, I have this care
mm-hmm.
attitude. Well, just right now.
Just right now, not
But I don't
then.
know when I'll be.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I get that.
I don't right now. I don't know in the future if I have an I don't care attitude or
Mm.
like.
I feel like I was more of a risk taker,
But
or I had more youth when I was a teenager compared to you. I think
mm,
we're different in that aspect.
yeah, I
Like,
think we are.
mm,
But like, how about if you were if you're old, like in your 30s or 50s or maybe 60s? How about 80s? Nina signaling 80s. So if you were older, like in your 80s, or would you risk it, or are you less inclined to risk every like stability?
80s. Okay, if I was in my 80s, I feel like I would risk it all.
Oh, she was becoming 80.
because
What?
I'm dying anyway, so why
If
not?
you were old? I
but
think
but it depends. Can I just say it depends on like what will I risk at that age? But I'm dying anyway, so like why not? How about you, Pao?
same. Because at that age, you're like looking for a legacy or what would people remember you by. So I think I'd risk it more.
Yeah. Do you know that movie, The Bucket List?
More.
I feel like it's the bucket list.
Ooh,
We're suddenly in our 80s and we have more energy. We don't because we're old. But we have more grit to to like risk it all.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I'm more inclined to when I'm older.
Yeah, I
So
get what you mean.
that people would remember us by like the lady who wanted to go everywhere.
That's a good like title of a book.
Oh wow.
Wanted to go everywhere. Nina said that if he's at that age, she'd sell everything. Why? You won't get the money because you'll die soon.
Oh my god.
Oh, sorry. I think I'm becoming morbid. But I just want to point out why I said that I won't risk it at this age, like
Mm-mm.
20s, because I feel like there's more years still after your 20s that can become miserable if you suddenly risk it all at this age. Because especially in our profession or occupation, right? It's a job that's not very flexible in terms of career options. So if you suddenly risk it all, it's like, well, for me, I don't know about you, but if I risk it all, I could just risk the 5 years I went through in university, which seems to be such a sad thing because those were 5 years of my youth I'm never taking back. But what about you, Pao? What do you feel about that? Risking in your 20s. What do you feel about that?
I think I okay with risking, but you know those 5 years, I had a really hard time with those 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And like just dropping it and risking well maybe not risking but dropping it just for another dream would be a waste in my part
Mm-hmm.
because not only was my heart broken but my soul was broken back then. Just leaving it would be a waste. But if I had another like profession career as a side job.
So for you, you'd work 5 more years in the career that you chose during university so
Yeah.
that it will like equal out. That's what you meant. That's what you meant. Okay. I think it's a rational process, but
Mm-mm.
I don't think it's for me.
I do
Especially
understand.
yeah, especially since I'm the kind of person who can really commit too long to things. I'm
Mhm.
that kind of person. When I commit to something, I commit to it deeply. But length, oh yes, Nina, I have commitment issues. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But yeah, I get that. I get that. This is a really fun topic, pal.
It is, but it's a hard one.
It's very heavy, and Nina is even giving prompts like, "Pao cannot commit in relationships."
Wow! I've never been in one. What
I
do you mean?
I can hear your parents listening to this podcast and then knowing how much we talk about your relationships or your lack of it. I'm so sorry.
Your parents, at least now you know that I'm truthful. I'm true. What? I'm honestly saying my whatever.
You know, whatever.
Relationship. I tell them everything from the crushes to the people I think are handsome. Or I have
Mm.
nothing to hide.
For our listeners, Pao is the kind of person who has her own wedding planned out since probably kindergarten.
Yes, but that's a story for next time. And that's
I,
the end of our podcast.
podcast. So
Woo!
see you again next Friday, hoping that your regrets be small and your wishes stay strong. Bye guys. Bye bye. Bye
Bye.
Nina.